The South African A team play host to the British and Irish Lions tonight. Playing sport during COVID-19 has been difficult for many, and it is no easier for SA Rugby. The credibility of the series has also come into question. eNCA sports reporter Justin Ford is outside the Cape Town Stadium ahead of the match between the SA team and the British and Irish Lions. Good evening, Mr. Ford. Great to have you again. Let's start with this. What added factor does Alan Jones bring to the British and Irish Lions setup after recovering from his shoulder injury?
Yeah, good evening again, Arthur. Massive boost for the Lions squad. Alan Jones was named as the captain for the squad and had an injury against Japan in a warm-up match in the UK before travelling down to South Africa. It was expected that he could potentially miss the whole series, but the fact that he has now been declared fit and will travel to Cape Town tomorrow to meet up with his teammates is definitely a massive boost for the team as well as for their forward pack.
What is your objective then, having 11 of their World Cup winning Springboks within the Bok squad?
Look, I think what it has come down to is the fact that the Springboks were not able to play that second match against Georgia. Knowingly, the COVID tests within the Bok setup prevented that match from taking place. So that being cancelled, it did not give Jacques Nienaber a clear idea of how he potentially can play against the Lions. I know this week, Rassie Erasmus, the director of rugby at SA Rugby, had kind of alluded to the fact that he was hoping the Lions could forego their match against the Stormers on Saturday here at the Cape Town Stadium and actually play the SA team again. So with that being said, Rassie Erasmus, the Jacques Nienaber and the management of the Springbok team would have decided that they actually want to get their best possible team out there just to really test themselves and get match fit, because that is the big thing that the Springboks are fearing, that they will not be match fit ahead of the series that starts next Saturday here at the Cape Town Stadium.
Well, Justin, questions have been raised on whether the British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa should continue, more so now during a third wave of COVID-19.
Absolutely. The amount of cases in the country at the moment, has caused for fans not to be able to attend the match, or at least the series. And that's been a big, thing for SA Rugby and for the fraternity in the country, not being able to come to the stadium on any other given day. This forecourt where we are standing outside the Cape Town Stadium will be packed as people are rushing in to get inside ahead of the 8 p.m. kickoff this evening. So with that being said, it's tough. However, the setup within SA Rugby feel that the match is still credible, and we heard from the director of rugby, Rassie Erasmus, and this is what he had to say.
We will still sing the anthems, we will still play for our country, it will still be a referee, the field is still 70 by 40 meters, that will be the same. It will be 15 guys on the field, the referee will do his best, the captains will do their best, we'll coach as well as we can, and we all got different situations in terms of where we are in the season. And I think the thing that we are trying to do is the Lions series is obviously for us the big thing this year, but the weekend after the last and final Lions test match, we play Argentina next 2 games, and then we're going on a plane to Australia for another 8 weeks, and then we've got 3 weeks off, and then we go to the end of year tour. Having a COVID case here and there, and it's like an injury, you can see it like an injury. So no, it will be the Lions' best team next week Saturday against the Springboks' best team.
Oh, wow, Rassie Erasmus there with some strong words and motivation for the Bok camp. Player welfare and mental strength has come into focus during the pandemic. How have the Springboks made it easier on their players?
Absolutely, and I think that has had to be one of the things that they needed to focus on. Notably, they had the alignment camps in Bloemfontein earlier this year ahead of the series. During COVID, players weren't able to actually train, so they've been in touch with these players, and ultimately what they've decided to do as a management team is to not overload the players with tactics, with schedules, with training and so forth, and really just simplify the way that they are planning in order to beat the British and Irish Lions. So one dealistic assistant coach at the Springboks set up just saying that, you know what, let's keep it simple, let's rely on what we know, and hopefully that will stand us in good stead. And this is what he had to say.
We live in challenging times, you know. You don't know what your tomorrow like, you know, because of every day we test, we try to comply and live by the protocols of the pandemic, you know. So from our side, the most important thing is to be able to adapt to all the challenges that we're facing. And there's no better way to answer your question than to make sure that we simplify the plan, you know. That's the most important thing, because of, once again, we've missed about 6 days last week where we didn't get an opportunity to go to training field. So we don't want to overload the information to the players. We don't want to overload them with a lot of stuff, you know. So what we have done as a coaching staff, we try to make sure, you know, with our leadership group, to simplify things.